Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a very different looking pod. Um, I'll see if you can figure out what looks, a little different than usual. Um,
I haven't the
well,
foggiest idea.
I kick it over to the co-host with the most, Avillion Talks. Jacob, how you doing?
Hey, what's happening? Young man's very sleepy. Um, I'm not really quite sure. Like, I didn't get a lot last night, but I got 5 hours, which by Jacob's standards is like kind of normal. And I'm not usually this
Disgusting.
tired. I'm not usually this tired. This feels like I only got four. So, I don't know. We'll see how that goes. But um, other than that, yeah, things are doing okay. I don't know for sure yet. I might have off work tomorrow because we lost power at the end of the day today, and if there's no power tomorrow, we can't work. So I don't know. I don't know. Hopefully, I get a text message tomorrow morning saying, "Hey, plant closed today," and I get to just hang out here with the cats. um, but oh, so there's been a lot of flooding in Texas.
Yes.
First of all, hope everybody's staying safe. But also, I heard today from my mother that somebody I went to preschool with passed away in the flooding. Actually, which is an insane text message to read
Wow.
on your break at work. That somebody who it wasn't somebody I knew much even back then, and obviously I didn't know them after the fact. It was just I think we were in preschool and then also kindergarten together. So my mom said, but that's it. But she was friends with her mom on Facebook, and that's how she found out that she had passed. So
Yeah.
check up on your loved ones. Make sure everybody's doing all right.
Yeah.
Uh,
My grandparents are good, but they live in Kerrville.
oh shit!
Yeah, well, I figured nothing bad had happened because I hadn't heard anything. I just went into work. I was going in the second shift, so I came in at 3 p.m. Flooding was like early that morning, so I saw on the news about the flooding, and I was like, oh, fuck. But since I had just left and walked past my parents, and then my uncle was in town on that side of the family, since no one was reacting, I knew they were fine, but I still checked in with them. But yeah, they're good. But yeah, they
Yeah,
live right there. But
yeah,
yeah, they live pretty high up though, so. But yeah, it was
that's good.
definitely. I was like, oh, what the fuck?
Scary shit. Yeah,
Yeah.
scary shit.
Tragic, very tragic, especially with that
Yeah,
summer camp.
yeah. Those girls were young. That's
Yeah,
brutal.
terrible.
It's brutal. I think yeah, the death tolls in the 80s now. Last I saw this morning, at least
Damn.
from yeah, and that's I mean probably they're probably gonna find more.
Yeah.
It's probably gonna go up even from there. It's brutal.
Obviously, since my grandparents, I've been there. It's small. Like it's like that obviously that
Yeah,
number is huge regardless, but even just proportionally for where things like that can happen, like that's a very big number for that area, especially.
yeah.
Home, the
But playing in the background here, like
first HEB was there.
oh shit,
Yeah. Like that's where it
nice
started.
lore,
I just remember because I had heard
good
them say
lore.
it in an ad, like, and I didn't know about Kerrville before my grandparents started living there. So yeah,
Yeah,
but yeah. So I clocked it and remembered it. But yeah. HEB started out there.
no.
But
But
what
beyond
about?
that, don't have a lot.
I was gonna say with you,
Oh,
actually, you.
yeah, I was gonna say, I went to my mother's house again for Fourth of July. It was a good time. Met her new boyfriend. He's a good dude. He's good people. I like him. Um, Also, a family friend that I hadn't seen in a while, and more importantly, her dog, who I haven't seen in a few years. And it was very nice seeing her again because she's such a sweetheart. And she's getting up there too. She's about 10 years old, and for especially for a pit bull, they don't usually last too much longer than that. But she's in really good health right now, so that's hopefully that continues for a long time still. Hopefully, 10 more years for her. She deserves it. She's a sweet baby. But she got along well with my mom's dog too, which was nice. Although my mom's dog was very jealous. Anytime Nina wanted to come, like if anytime I wanted to pet Nina, Millie would like nudge herself between us because she didn't want me to pet Nina. She wanted me to pet her. So it's whatever. And then I watched Ironheart, which I can talk about later, but I did do that as well. So I went to my mom's house the next day to hang out with my sister while my mom was gone. Um, and I had a good time with that. So I think that's about it for me as far as like updates and stuff go. I'm gonna go ahead and hand it over to you. The floor is yours. What we got
Um,
on the done?
I mean, I'll just get to the obvious stuff. Yeah, I played around with my hair a little bit.
A little bit.
Yeah, just a little bit. Just been itching for a while because I've been talking about it on the pod for a while of wanting to do something like this. Finally did it. Shaved too. Went clean shaven. Stubble's already coming in, pretty nicely. Can't wait for the beard to come back, to be honest.
How'd your coworkers react to?
So I haven't actually gone in with most of them. I've only two people I work with have seen it, like my supervisor and then one guy who had to come in. My supervisor was like,
right, yeah, okay.
yeah, my supervisor was like, "You got a lot of balls." Yeah. We'll see. We'll see. Wednesday is when most of them will see it. We'll see.
We'll see how they respond.
And they're the type of guys. Jesus.
What you got purple in there for, huh? You some kind of fruitcake or something?
Yeah. It's like we always knew there was something about you. You don't degrade women. We always knew you were fruity. It's like, all right.
You don't talk about how much you want to go fuck Gina over in HR, so
No, for real,
I
no.
figured you just one of them British cigarettes.
You react kind of weird when we just show you pictures of naked women we found on our phones. Yeah, I don't want to see that from you. Yeah, but then on the other side, we did the Nuzlocke. We did the first stream of the Nuzlocke.
Yes, we did.
And I don't know what happened when I used that first number generator. I don't know if I just didn't see it on my monitor or I overlooked it or what. But when I generated the numbers on that first one, it did show up. It did work. I just didn't see them for whatever reason. So I went to a different one, did the number generator, and got shackled with Torchic.
Shackled.
Who I should have had, and it's who I said I should have gotten just based on the trend. It was Trico. That's who I actually should have gotten. Watching back the footage, dude, my jaw broke off when I saw that I had done that. I was like, no. I was actually very pissed, and I'm still actually pretty upset with myself that I did that.
Had you gotten Trico, we both would have had one of each type to start the Nuzlocke series.
Yeah,
because I had Charmander and Chikorita, and you had Squirtle and Cyndaquil.
Yeah.
So,
and it's what should have happened. It's insane, but unintentionally, I guess my comedy brain was like, "No, it's funny if you get Torchic."
It's hilarious if you get Torchic.
But I actually am upset. I'm genuinely upset that it happened because I really didn't want that Pokemon.
I was praying to every god to have ever existed, and I even made up some new ones along the way that I would be getting Mudkip and you would be getting Torchic because that was the funniest possible outcome, and that is exactly what happened. So, I'm quite pleased with the results.
You know what?
I had a lot of fun just in general. That was a great story.
It was a great one. The highlight video is up on my channel. If people wanna see the highlights, it's still pretty long because so much happens that first stream. So it's a little less than an hour, and it's from a 2-hour stream, but some good moments in there. But what was I gonna say? Oh, I'm just building up good karma. That's actually all I did. I intentionally got Torchic to build up good karma so that next go round I can get Turtwig, my favorite grass starter ever, and then a top 5? Top 5, borderline top 5 favorite Pokemon. It used to be really set in stone that it was top 5, but it's just getting a little more murky the more we play. The more I play around in the games.
Well, until you get Turtwig in our Platinum Nuzlocke, and then all of a sudden it leapfrogs its way into the third place. Hi, Bowie.
I have a hard time seeing it. I think it could get 4th. I think 4th is the highest I could see it going. It's going to be very hard to pass up number 3, which I actually got a big-ass version of.
Oh, nice. Oh, Fuecoco. Okay, that makes sense.
Because the boy Gabe sent a picture of this exact one, like, in his hands at a Target, and he was like, look what I saw. And I was like, where is that, and is it still there? And then as soon as I got off work, well, actually, I got this haircut. Didn't dye. It was normal color then, but I got the haircut, and then I went to the Target, and I picked it up. It's fucking awesome.
He's big. He's a big boy.
Yeah. And then
I know we discussed it at length,
yeah.
but man, that hair tuft is peak Pokemon design.
It's yeah.
It really makes the whole thing.
Yeah, it ties it all together. Look.
Yeah.
Is that the same guy?
That ain't normal. That's not the same guy.
There he
Give my
is.
son back. Yeah.
It does factor in a lot. You're right.
Yeah.
It adds so much character.
Yeah,
I think you're completely right about it.
And it continues throughout the entire line. I mean, I'm talking the surface here since the whole thing last week. It's incredible. Moving on.
Yeah.
Proceed.
And then I'm trying to think what else. I'm seeing Superman Thursday night.
Nice.
So excited! Nice. It's a special screening with a 3-course meal included. Daddy splurged on his Superman ticket.
Boy, get down. Get down. Thank you. Sorry.
Yeah, no, you're good.
He splurged.
Yeah, Daddy splurged.
I'm about to splurge on Daddy.
I think that's it. I didn't do a pack opening for the first stream because I remembered, but day of, I was like, okay, let me go get some cards. Where I get my cards in town here, they close on Tuesday. So I was like, well, fuck. But I won't be caught lacking this time. Won't be caught lacking tomorrow. Tomorrow, as of recording, yesterday, as when this video comes out. But yeah, I think that's it, man. I think we are in the NFL offseason right now. And now is the time where you make your claims, you make your bets that you get to either try to have people forget you said during the regular season or remind everybody that you said during the regular season when people see what you saw, the vision. But let's just get started with positional rankings. I think we're going to start working our way through those, starting off with the most important position in sports. I don't think there's a position in sports, in any sport, more important than the quarterback, especially at the NFL level.
Certainly. Are we going to go 1 to 10 order like we did last year?
Yeah, definitely, because it's definitely less controversial up top. At the very least, the tiering is
everybody's top 4 is the same. Even
it's the same people, yeah.
If the ordering can be different, but everybody's top 4 quarterbacks is exactly the same. So,
just had to grab my phone.
All good, baby.
Ooh, the Magic just extended Paolo.
Okay, how much?
5 years, $287 million.
For Paolo?
Yeah, it's a max extension, max rookie extension.
Does Paolo deserve over $50 million a year? Good for him.
I think yes, I believe in him. It's a little bit of a projection signing, but I think he can. I definitely think he can be one of those guys. I think he's got top 10 level player in him. So I like it.
Fair enough.
And it's like you burn that bridge if you don't offer the max. He really looked like he was going to do it this year, make that jump this year, but he got hurt. Took him a while to come back from it. Yes. And I mean, like, when he was on the court, like, it took him a while to come back from it. But anyways, back to football. We're going to rank quarterbacks.
We're going to rank quarterbacks.
How are we doing this? Are we going 1, 1, 2, 2, or are we going to go...
Yeah, let's go 1, 1, 2, 2.
Okay.
Oh, he froze. Okay.
Yeah. We'll do it. Do you want to do... All right, do you want to say it at the same time, our number 1, or do you want to alternate here?
Good alternate.
All right.
Alternate sounds good.
I'll go first. My number 1. I hopped on this. I think I hopped on this last year. I know I was on it last year, but I think last year was the year I hopped on it. Um, I'm going Josh Allen, number one quarterback in the NFL. Um,
Yeah.
I just think when he's at his best, he's clearly the best. That's not the question. I think when him at his best is
Yeah.
obviously better than everybody else. It's the question of when he's not at his best, and I think he's limited those times to enough of a point to where I feel comfortable putting him number one, seeing how his highs can be. And I've seen the context of him losing playoff games, and I don't fault him in the recent years for those losses. Um, it's not as big a knock on for him as maybe other people would put it on him. But to me, Josh Allen is the number one quarterback in the NFL. Who's your number one?
I really struggle with this. I had
Mm-hmm.
three names rotating around.
Okay.
I really had a hard time picking which of the three to put up here because there's a lot at play for all three of them to put them up here. I caved, however, and I did ultimately stick with Patrick Mahomes here at number one.
Obviously,
Now,
very fair.
that is subject to change, as all of these rankings are, of course.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still not sure because a part of me just feels like it would be sacrilege to put him lower than this, but also like Allen and Lamar might deserve it at this point. I don't know. Frankly, I don't have the answer to that. So for now, I'm gonna leave Mahomes here.
There was a period in time where Mahomes
I
felt
do think
very.
statistically this would be the best. You're still frozen for me. Are you there?
Bad freeze. There we go.
Hello?
Hello.
Okay. I was going to say, I think this, we might see a better statistical season, at least from Mahomes this year, than we have in a while. I think he's set up better for it right now than he has been. But, yeah, I still... He's a clutch performer.
For sure.
He's still superhuman at the end of the day. Like, it hasn't...
Well, yeah.
As often. There's no point in jeopardizing anything.
Yeah, I think what I was saying when we froze earlier, what I was going to say was that like there were plenty of time. Like it used to feel like he was inhuman, and now we've seen enough of him being human to maybe take him off a bit of a pedestal because some people were already trying to say he's the GOAT, which was
there's no Mahomes tier anymore, like alone. Yeah. You know where it was for like 2-3 years, where it was like there's the Mahomes tier and then there's everybody else.
Yeah,
it doesn't exist anymore. He's just in tier one.
Yeah,
but I don't believe in an isolated Mahomes tier anymore at this point.
No.
Certainly.
Yeah.
Yeah, the gap has been closed.
But just to piggyback off that, just to go ahead and say it, he's my number 2.
Goodness.
So he's obviously right there.
Okay.
I don't have anything else to add because we pretty much just talked about him. So that's all I really got to say for him. Like he's if we were looking at current quarterbacks all time legacies, then he's number 1 for sure. But
certainly.
But we're just looking at right now, Mahomes at 2. So I feel pretty comfortable in that. You're number 2. There it is.
Goodness gracious, we're having some.
Yeah, it's real bad. But
technical difficulties.
You're number 2.
Number 2. This one, not an easy decision to make. Still, ultimately, again, like I said, I was deciding between 3 guys for number 1. So naturally, I'm deciding between 2 guys for number 2, and it's hotly contested. I ended up going with Lamar Jackson for this number 2 spot. And what it ultimately might come down to is that I just enjoy watching Lamar Jackson play football like slightly more than I enjoy watching Josh Allen.
Wow. That's not a crazy take because Lamar is the most electric runner we've seen at the quarterback position.
Lamar is the most fun player to watch in sports, I feel. For not even just not even just the running to run, the running to
throw.
fool everybody. Juke an edge rusher out of his shoes and buy an extra 10 seconds plus in the pocket. That nobody else can do what he does the way he does it.
That's not crazy take. Like, he might be.
Stupid. Like, I mean, Mahomes has the instincts to manipulate the pocket. Allen has the instincts, and Allen has the athleticism too. But nobody else has the quick twitch that Lamar does, combined with the athleticism and the instincts to buy the time the way that he does, to always have an open receiver who ends up dropping the pass on a 3rd and long, because that's just what Ravens football has been in the last 4 years. Please, for the love of God, Ravens receivers catch the football when he does magical shit, because it happened multiple times last year. I think it happened 2 weeks in a row at one point last year, and one of my friends just about ripped his hair out because I get it. But I'm assuming he's your number 3 if you want to dive in here as well. No fucking! You gotta stop this.
No, I'm being very serious. Like, this is how I genuinely believe, and it's what I think makes sense. My number 3 is Joe Burrow. Right. He's had the playoff success against my number 1 and 2 needed to put in this conversation. I've seen him play. He didn't win it that year, but I've seen him play at an MVP level. And I know Lamar won. We'll get into it more than once. We'll get into it, but. We want to talk about clutch. I think he is the most clutch quarterback in the NFL. Him, Mahomes, right there. Connection with his number 1 wide receiver. Now, I get that he has a significantly better number 1 wide receiver than any of the other quarterbacks we mentioned. A significantly better number 2 wide receiver than any of the quarterbacks we've mentioned. But he knows how to get them the ball. He's the best connection. I think he has the best connection with any wide receiver, given that they played in college. With the clutch factor, the playoff success, rising when he needed to, I put him at number 3. I guess I'll have to wait a second to really give my piece on my number 4. But your number 3.
I don't need to say much here about Josh Allen because you went over him quite a bit earlier, and I don't disagree with anything you said about Josh Allen. Certainly an arguable number 1 for me. What are you doing? Onyx. Baby. Anywho, probably the strongest arm the NFL's ever seen.
Agreed.
One hand. Runs people the fuck over.
Yep.
Most rushing touchdowns by any quarterback since he's been drafted. He runs the piss out of the ball. Like, just hard nose. Like, it's fun to watch in a different way than Lamar is fun to watch.
Yeah.
But it is exciting.
He runs it how I feel more comfortable with the quarterback running, and it's more about their frame than the way they run. But I'm less scared of like Josh Allen taking a hit than I am Lamar taking a hit, just given the size of him.
Allen also takes a lot more contact when he runs than Lamar does, though. Lamar's very good at getting out of bounds on most of his runs, whereas Allen. Yeah, it seeks the path of most resistance. He wants to run you the fuck over. And usually he does. And he's a bigger guy. Like, I'm not worried about Allen with those hits. The same way I'm not worried about Lamar because I know he can avoid taking those hits in the first place. So, hey. So they're each playing to their strengths. It's just fun to watch in different ways. Yeah. But another case of, like, get this man a wide receiver 1. We've seen him with one, and we've seen him without one, and he doesn't look like a different quarterback necessarily.
Now,
but the offense looks different.
Yeah.
So,
because there was pre-Diggs Allen, and then there was Diggs Allen, and it was like, is he making them? But now we've seen him without him now, and it's like, oh, that advancement was just him.
Well, I mean, it's also, it was only 2 years in the league without Stephon Diggs, so it's small sample size. And for a guy who was raw...
Well, it's because we've seen quarterbacks come in and be, like, I don't know, people got spoiled a little bit with just how quick some quarterbacks were able to adjust to the league.
Yeah. Fair enough. But, no, I do love me some Josh Allen. It's good. Firmly, easily at number 3 here. Your number 4... So let's talk some more about Lamar Jackson.
So my number 4 is Lamar Jackson, and I will say this is the end of tier 1. These 4 guys are all in tier 1 for me. Like, I'm not having him down here at 4 isn't a shot at him. He's in tier 1 clearly. The reason I just put him at 4 is just the playoffs. That's really all it comes down to. Is I've been disappointed with his playoff performance. Um, like the difference between him and Allen in terms of their losses is that seeing Lamar like when he's bad in the playoffs, it's been like costing his team level bad, and he's been the reason. Not
Yep.
solely because it's a team sport, but at a higher degree than these other quarterbacks when they lose a playoff game to blame. That's literally it because everything you've said about him is absolutely true. He's electric to watch. This is why he's tier 1. He's multi-time MVP now. Like he is amazing. He's a tier 1 quarterback, but just the playoff success is why he's the last in the tier 1s for me.
Brayden McClellan does not care about black people.
Okay. While I was making this list, I was like, I'm gonna get accused of stuff.
I figured you'd have him beneath Allen. I was a little surprised. I know you love Burrow.
That's my guy. That's my guy. But just genuinely, like, I weigh the playoffs a bit higher. Now, I get that having Josh Allen at 1, maybe some people will see that as a contradiction, but I can look at individual performance in the playoffs versus the team success of the playoffs. And I like what Josh Allen's done in the playoffs, even though they haven't won a Super Bowl. Yeah. Burrow hasn't won. Only one of these in the top 4 have won a Super Bowl. So, like,
I'm not a big Sean McDermott guy, in all honesty. I know I've talked about that a few times.
Yeah, you have. I like him.
I'm not a big Brandon guy either. Get Josh Allen a better front office.
That's why he's my number 1.
The Bills' approach to team building is where, like, how many elite players are there on that team
currently
outside of Josh Allen?
How do you feel about James Cook as a running back? Where do you draw the line?
Not elite. He's a great running back. No, definitely not elite. We're a stretch to the definition of elite.
They used to have. This is the struck because I'm just thinking of guys they used to have. I can't think of anybody right now.
I like Matt Milano, but he's just not on the field, like, ever. Like, I would say he's a borderline elite linebacker, but he has to actually play for that to matter. So,
where do you draw the line at elite for, like, a tackle? Like, is Deion Dawkins?
Absolutely not. I mean, he's a good tackle, not an elite tackle. No, it's like,
who else is on that roster? Ed Oliver.
Not an elite interior player, but a really good interior player.
Yeah, there's a lot of, like, really goods, but no elites right now.
So really good edge rusher. He's not an elite. Like, they've drafted well in terms of, like, drafting starters, but in terms of getting, like, the guy somewhere else on the team besides Josh, like, the Bengals have Jamar Chase. The Bengals, I would say T. Higgins is borderline elite.
Yeah, I 100%.
T. Higgins is absolutely an elite football player.
Hopefully he plays.
Yeah, I hope so. Also, pay Shamar Stewart.
Yeah.
The fuck, like, I don't think we've talked about the Shamar Stewart situation.
No.
Give him exactly what you gave everybody else as far as the contract clauses go. Like, don't shortchange him if something happens.
I don't think it's the money. I think it's the clause of, like.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like he could lose money if he gets hurt or some bullshit. Like, or if something else happens, some of the stipulation.
Which, like, isn't an uncommon thing because, like, I know the Giants have that in their contracts. But the thing is just, like, they're just now trying to start to do that, and they're trying to start with him, and he doesn't want to be the one. Because, like, Abdul Carter has it in his contract. It's. I don't think it's a him-specific thing of just being disrespectful. I mean, at this point, it's disrespectful to him that it's still going on. But, like, just be like, all right, fuck it. I guess we won't start it this year.
Especially for Cincinnati, like, this is a player who needs some time in the oven still, right? Like, this is a guy who is not NFL ready necessarily right away. Day one run defender maybe, but as a pass rusher, which is what you're ultimately drafting him to be if you're drafting him in the first round, he needs to cook a little more. And you're keeping him off the field because he's not been paid yet, and you're taking this long, refusing to budge on something you've done for
I'm getting a call from FedEx. Hold on, I've been waiting on a package. Let me take this real quick. Sorry.
Okay.
Anyways.
Oh. my goodness.
Just,
yeah. Anyway,
just to finish
the
that
Bengals.
piece, yeah. Pay.
Historically cheap ass organization. Pay Shamar Stewart. Pay
Mm-hmm.
Trey Hendrickson. Go fuck yourself.
Find a way to do it. Like you got
Yeah.
the
Joe
quarterback.
Burrow
Once
is
you
my
have the
number 4.
quarterback, it's like, all right, we're spending.
Joe Burrow is my number 4, and he is tier 1 for me. He's not. It's a weird spot of where he's like, to me, like I didn't have any qualms about putting him 4th because I did feel comfortable enough that I had the other 3 above him, but also like he's still comfortably 4th for me. Like I definitely there's not a like even the 5th quarterback for me like at one point was hard to think of. It's been the same guy for me for months now, but it's like
Yeah.
while I was thinking about it initially, it was like I had these 4, and I'm like, who the fuck? Like Randy Moss talked about this the other day. He was like, I was talking about top 5 quarterbacks with my son. We named the obvious top 4. He's like, who the fuck's number 5?
Yeah, 5 on is hard.
Yeah. I mean, I know who 5 is for me, and we'll get there.
I
But first, we're
think
gonna
we
do who
have
5
the
is for
same.
you. Probably.
I think we
I think
do.
we're both pretty fond of this guy. Go ahead.
Oh yeah, okay. I didn't know. I didn't realize that was the cue. All right, my number 5. I went with Matthew Stafford.
Yeah.
There's
Yeah,
so much variance like here going on. Like I just leaned on the consistent player that we've seen for a while, and we've seen win a Super Bowl. He's in a great situation. Although his top wide receiver might be having off-field issues that might distract him. Uh, hopefully not.
Or make his season even better.
Yeah, who's a
2,500-yard season because he's pissed off.
Fuck it, Matthew Stafford's gonna throw another triple crown, dude.
Yeah. Plus, he's got Devontae Adams right now, who still has a lot left in the tank.
For sure.
Frankly, I like Devontae Adams still.
But yeah,
Not worried about that.
Mr. Consistent at this point compared to some of these other guys, and was wasting away somewhere, and then it took top tier quarterbacks to sing his praises for people to keep in mind that guy's that guy. But yeah, Matthew Stafford always been that guy. I'm gonna put him at 5. Maybe his last year up here though, this high up.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. I don't think we saw a dip in play for him necessarily, but there's other guys another guy in particular, I'll talk about in a few spots here, who I think could very well climb to this spot, if not even higher. Realistically, he's that good. But yeah, Stafford, comfortable number 5 for me. Is Onyx, baby, cut that out. Comfortable number 5 for me. Great head coach quarterback relationship, one of the best in the NFL. And by extension, head coach play caller relationship. Really smart guy, great pre-snap, knows where to put the ball. So that's always been a big thing for him. Howlett's urban arm, cool dude too, to my understanding. His wife kind of seems like a okay. I don't need to go there. But
you just don't need to tell that story.
You don't need to tell that story. You
don't need to tell that story.
You don't need to tell that story about dating the backup quarterback to make Matt jealous. Fuck that guy, I guess.
Yeah, that's just so dumb. Although I heard Detroit fans already they didn't like her when she was there, and they were like,
oh, they hated her.
Yeah.
Well, a lot of them would also blame her for Matt wanting to leave in the first place because she's like, she just didn't want to live in Detroit. She wanted to live in LA or whatever, which maybe not impossible, but
yeah.
Yeah. Anywho, sorry for bringing the wife up. Shout out Matt Stafford. Number 6 for you. What are we looking at here? Number 6.
Maybe a little quick to put him this high, but you make a conference championship game, and you do so in great fashion. I mean, I'm gonna put Daniels here. Give me Jaden Daniels at number 6.
I'll take it.
I mean, just an electric player. Now, obviously, we'll see if sophomore slumps a thing. Can they adjust to him? But came into a bad organization, and now everyone's looking at Washington like, oh shit, this is a legitimate team becoming legitimate which obviously ties in more with head coaching hires and new GM and ownership within the past however I remember when they sold. Jesus.
Jumped on my PC.
Yeah, but now Jane Daniels helping turn around an organization. I'm going to put him number 6, getting all the way to a conference championship game. Yeah. Your number 6.
I will say, as far as the Washington front office goes, they will lose a lot of goodwill if they don't pay Terry McLaurin because that's been stalling for months now.
Hmm.
So pay the man.
Got to.
He deserves it.
Yeah,
He
for
deserves
sure.
it. That's the only legitimate wide receiver there in Washington as of right now. Shout out Luke McCaffrey. I'm a believer. But um, number 6 for me, and this is somebody who probably would have cemented himself at number 5 if he didn't have one of the worst playoff performances I've ever seen in my lifetime. We're going with Justin Herbert.
Oh,
Uh, retired Justin Herbert hater. I wouldn't say I've seen the light. I don't think anything I've ever said about Justin Herbert was wrong.
no.
I think he was just a much better player this year than he's been, especially considering what he had to work with offensively. They were not spoiled for choice with weapons there. It was Lad McConkey and friends and a bunch of guys.
That's all you
Uh,
need.
Somehow got 8 touchdowns out of Quentin Johnson. Okay, sure. Why not? That room's got more dudes in it this year, so that is exciting. But yeah, firmly, I think at this point, Herbert's closing in on being that guy. I need him to not absolutely shit the bed in the playoffs, because that was dastardly. I've like a few instances of me being more mad at a player than I was at Justin Herbert after that. One, because it happened against the Texans.
That's literally
Two,
what I was
because
thinking.
I had been singing his praises all year long. I'm like, look, I'm retired. No Justin Herbert hate for me this year. He's been
Well,
awesome.
Gabe
And then
just
he
made
has
it
the
hard to
worst
not
game
be on
ever.
the hate train because of how much he glazed him.
Yeah, it's fair. We heard it every day from. Well, and I'd heard it from a lot of people as well, where it was like
Yes,
he's been
yes.
crowned so prematurely, and it's like he's not there yet. Like not exactly. And he looks like he was, and then we'll see. We'll see. But I do feel pretty good here about this number 6 ranking for him.
Yeah.
Your number 7.
Herbert, not too far off from where you got him. I talked about it with Lamar. It's worse with Herbert. It seems like just 2 bad playoff performances, or maybe a 1.5. Because
I wouldn't say the Jacksonville game was really a bad performance from Herbert.
you're up 27. And you lose. It's a bad
They
performance.
took the
I
ball
really
out
don't
of his
care.
hand. What was he supposed to do?
If you can't score any more after that point and you lose, if a team goes up that much and they lose, everybody's getting that blame. I'm giving every single player that blame because and especially when it ends on a field goal, it's like, all right, so it was down to that much of a difference. Any single player here could have made that tiny bit of a difference, especially the quarterback. But yeah, I mean, we're kind of on the same wave here in terms of him. Your number 7.
Jay Daniels.
Okay.
Jay Daniels, yeah. And as long as he avoids the slump, he should be a riser this year. No reason he shouldn't improve, but I mean, shit happens. I hate when somebody has a great rookie season and then somebody's like, he's only going to get better. You don't know that.
That's true.
You don't, frankly. That happens all the time in sports that somebody actually doesn't get better, at least not right away.
Dak Prescott's best year is still his rookie year. I guess 2 years ago was probably better.
Was it 20? Was it 2020 or 2021? Maybe I don't know.
2 years ago was when I think he was. That would have been when Lamar won. That's when he had a case for MVP.
Yeah.
So 2 years ago maybe, but I guess just because there's expectations of him not being good come playoff time that then ultimately did kind of not fully get lived up. Well, I don't know. They kind of got lived up to.
I suppose.
And he was good against Green Bay. They just, or at least in the second half. So it was just, even though they lost, there wasn't as bad a taste in your mouth when the season ended, in comparison to other good seasons he's had, where it's still that last playoff game. You go, yep, all right, yeah, no, he's still that guy.
Yeah.
That you didn't have with his rookie year. But yeah, I guess 2 years ago would have been his best year.
Yeah, but I feel pretty good about Jaden. Funny enough, when we get to my number 8, it'll be an interesting conversation. But you're number 8,
Well,
so
my
who
number
you
8
got?
is Dak Prescott because I still think he's a really
Oh,
good
my number 8
quarterback.
is Dak Prescott, so that's awesome.
Yeah, I still think he's a really good quarterback, and he is underrated at this point. But he came. I was just in regards to what we're talking about. He just came into the league, good. But yeah, he's
Yeah.
still a really good quarterback, especially in the regular season. He's a great quarterback, but um, it just. I still think you can win a Super Bowl with him, but you just need a better head coach than he's had. And some of the guys above him, I think, could win a Super Bowl with Mike McCarthy head coach, because I think Mike McCarthy was a good. The thing is, you need either a great head coach or a great quarterback, ideally both, to win a Super Bowl. Dallas has just had good at both, but Dak
I would say
is
that. Well, no, the Eagles just won a Super Bowl without either of those things.
okay. I guess we'll throw in GM. If we throw in GM, then you need
If you throw in the best GM ever, you
yeah.
can win a Super Bowl without an elite head coach and quarterback.
Well, I just said yeah. I guess great and elite are about the same thing.
Well, I wouldn't say Sirianni or Hurts are great at what they do. To be honest with you, but
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. Like what you were saying.
yeah,
Um, but yeah, Dak's just a good. I mean, I just wish he was more mobile like he used to be, but then he got hurt and he just hasn't been the same in terms of running the football,
yeah,
which sucks because he's still got the build that I feel like, hey, just if we need 2 yards, like let's just
you
fucking
get
run
it.
him in certain situations. But unfortunately, like that just feels like it's kind of out of the playbook almost. Almost. I mean, obviously, it still happens sometimes. He's not a statue, but
Yeah,
I just know he could be better based on mobility, but I guess it's just not going to be there. But yeah, anyway, still a really good quarterback. I think he's tier 1. If that's tier 1, I'll say that's so tier 3 quarterback in the NFL. I think the last 3 guys we named I would have at tier 2, and then this is the beginning of tier 3 for me. Dak Prescott. So you said Dak was your number 8 as well, right?
yes.
Your thoughts on him?
I don't have a lot to add.
Yeah. Everybody knows about him.
Great leader.
Of course,
Certainly, you have to
everything
be
off the field, like
you have
elite.
to be if you're wearing the star on your helmet. You have to. Frankly,
Yeah.
playing quarterback, you cannot be a more like lackadaisical kind of like. No, you have to take charge. You
Yeah.
could be the Cowboys quarterback. It's just what it is. Um, yeah, good dude.
Good
Really
dude.
good
Yep.
dude. But great quarterback too. And people forget. Well, one there's the Cowboys tax.
Yeah.
Being on the Cowboys, people are gonna think you suck, especially if you're playing quarterback. That's just how it is. But I mean, I've like. Have we ever seen Dak be anything other than at least like top 12? Since he's entered the league, have we ever seen
No, probably
anything
not. No.
like consistent year to year? He's always just really good, and I'll take that at the most important position in sports. That's fine.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with that.
What you
So
need is an elite wide receiver. Oh wait, the Cowboys have that. Like an elite edge rusher. Oh wait, they have that.
that
A
was that.
defense that can turn the ball over. Oh wait, they have that. What are they missing? Maybe coach. We don't know. I don't want to make any judgments. I haven't seen him be a head coach, so we'll find out. But obviously, the
We'll
thing
see.
holding back this team is just its owner slash GM.
Yep. Number 9, who ultimately made it?
Uh, when hurts. I mean, you win the Super Bowl, and in the playoffs leading up to it, you play your best football. That means something to me. That means something to me, man. And I like rooted for the Eagles the second time in my life. I think the only other
Oh, I
time
need water. Hang on. I just took a my mouth and it's spicy. Give me 1 second.
it's spicy. I'll just articulate how it hurts.
Yeah.
Jesus. And it's spicy. That's why you gotta have that water. You gotta have that water on your side. I just finished drinking mine, but you gotta have it on your side. Um, but yeah, all I was saying about Hurts is you have your best games ever, back to back to back on the playoff run to win a Super Bowl. You're gonna be top 10. Granted, he's benefiting from the best roster in the NFL. Um, I he's become it's a little hard to try to talk positively about him because he's now been like one of the most overrated quarterbacks in the NFL. Like the way some people talk about him after the Super Bowl run, like top 2 conversations some people were having. It's just obviously it's just like these sports analysts, quote unquote, on TV trying to stir shit up. But number 9 feels pretty good. He's a good quarterback, benefiting from the best roster in the NFL. Played his best football when it mattered most, so that's obviously going to do big things. But I've seen his limitations. I know what he is. He's in a perfect situation, but you got to look at situation aside, individually as a player. 9 is where I feel comfortable putting him.
Number 9 for me. I went with Jordan Love when he's listening to the angel on his shoulder. Just Jordan Love in general. You got to take the good with the bad.
Wow, I didn't have him top 13. I didn't even think about him.
Wow. Oh, interesting. I went with Jordan Love here at number 9.
He's the guy who could jump the furthest up. I see it. I totally see it.
Up to number 5 this season.
Yes, I agree with that.
For one, if he gets a true number 1, they don't have that today.
They've got like several 2s and 3s.
They've got about 8 2, 3, and 4s type guys. They don't have a 1.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're really pushing the boundaries on how many wide receiver 2s does it take to equal 1 wide receiver 1.
By the way,
it doesn't work that way.
Yeah, it doesn't. That's what I was about to say. It just doesn't work.
No, it doesn't work.
The Cowboys tried it one time. It didn't work.
They did after they traded Amari Cooper. They just had a bunch of dudes. It didn't work out that way.
I remember it before Amari Cooper.
Sorry, no, it was right before Amari Cooper.
Yeah, because they had CD.
By the time
but they had Alan Hearns. That's the era.
Yeah.
Big Hearns.
They had a bunch of dudes. They had Michael Gallup, I think, was.
Oh my God, Michael Gallup.
God,
when he finally took off, and then he got.
I miss prime Michael Gallup so much.
That's when people were saying the Cowboys had 3 number 1s. Fuck, he was good. He obviously wasn't actually a number 1, but fuck, was he good when he was good.
No, but he was a legitimate number 2, I think, when he was like, oh my God, I love Michael Gallup so much.
I loved him so much. I remember people were like, maybe we should give 88 to Gallup, and I was like, dude, I vibe with that. I fuck with that. Good thing we didn't in hindsight, but in the moment, man, I would have handed it to him. Homegrown. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Which, by the way, the Cowboys do numbers right. I like the idea of a legacy number.
Yeah, I like that a lot more than retiring numbers, to be honest with you. Which is kind of what Tennessee's doing with Ward, at least, getting Warren Moon to unretire number 1 and letting Cam Ward wear it.
Yeah, but that's kind of what I think teams should do. The ones who had played in the number before, they get together and decide if this player can have it or not. I think the 88 Council should be voting next 88 whenever it happens. That's how I view it.
Bill Sims' family can eat a dick. Let Abdul Carter wear number 11. He looks so good in number 11. Yeah. Let that shit happen.
It's so funny how he himself, the player, was like, yeah, that's fine. And this guy was like, don't you dare let him play that in that number.
A bunch of haters, man. Stop. Let the young man live. Let him have fun.
Yeah.
I respect that he asked both Bill Sims and Lawrence Taylor for their numbers, and they both said no. And he's like, shoot or shoot. I respect the fuck. Abdul Carter is insane. He's gonna be such a good football player, man. I can't wait to watch Abdul Carter. I just can't wait for football. Well, okay, I know you can, but I'm so excited for football. The other day, I was talking in a baseball group chat, and I accidentally said the word points instead of runs because I've been thinking about football the entire day, and I got flamed for it. Of course, like, oh, this fucking idiot. He said points, but Freudian slip, man. I don't say
I did that talking about, and this is worse. This is a worse example than yours, because runs are points. This one is not this, but we were talking about basketball. And I was like, instead of saying oh, they'll prove it on the court, I said they'll prove it on the field because I was thinking about football. And they're like, they don't play on the field, they play on the court, dipshit. I was like, God damn it.
They'll prove it on the diamond, okay?
Yeah.
get it right. Uh, yeah. Jordan Love, though, I've talked at length about how much I like him. Um, I was always a Jordan Love believer. I stood firmly behind the decision to draft him in the first place, and I stood firmly behind the idea that he was going to be good, and he is, and that's awesome. Uh, I did it again.
Oh my god! What did you eat?
Mm, that's some spicy chicken.
It's a spicy chicken.
It's in my throat. Mm. Good God.
Bite through it, brother.
Fuck. Oh, God. Yeah, go ahead. Go give me your number 10.
My number 10. I went with Jared Goff.
I kind of figured he'd be at the back end of your list.
Give me Goff. Just as elite as you can be as a game manager. Just sitting back there, distributing the ball in a well-run offense. Gonna be tested this year in terms of the play caller's gone, but the personnel that's fantastic is still there. And I think he grew as a player when he got shipped to Detroit. I think he just forcibly gotten toughened up a little bit just from that trade, given a little bit more resolve. And I just think top tier game manager quarterback in the NFL for a team that's historically bad, and you bring some light to them. A little narrative seeping into my rankings here, but give me Jared Goff at number 10.
My only real concern with Goff, obviously besides the new play caller, we'll see. I'm sure the system won't change a whole lot, though, and obviously the weapons are still there. The interior offensive line is going to look a lot different this year because Kevin Zeitler went and signed with Tennessee, and Frank Ragnow has been medically forced to retire, which is awful. I fucking love Frank Ragnow, only 29 years old. But you can't fuck around with neck injuries. So I get it. It's just I feel bad for him. I really do. Really feel for the guy. But Goff, like you said, elite game manager when he's clean.
Yeah.
When the pocket is clean, nobody is more
I thought that's
accurate.
the case for anybody you would label a game manager.
Well, yes, but Goff is like every extreme imaginable when it comes to under pressure versus not under pressure. Because when Goff's not pressured, he's one of the best quarterbacks. Period. How accurate he is with the football, where he puts it, the timing. Whenever he is kept clean, kept upright, he will do everything you need him to do. The minute somebody gets in his hip pocket, it's over. Sweet, very. Nothing he could do in that situation. Pretty bizarre stuff there. But my number 10, this is not somebody who necessarily had the best statistical season last year, but also his offensive coordinator got fired after only 1 year, which should tell you everything you need to know. I'm going to go with Geno Smith for my number 10 selection here. Got definitely a lot of Jordan Love in his game. In terms of the, a very can be a little hot cold with the football in terms of there's obviously the great plays he makes throughout the game, but then there's a few decisions where you had just had no business doing that. But I love Geno to the Raiders for one. Obviously way better protection than he ever had in Seattle behind that Raiders offensive line. I love the weapons. You still got Jacoby Myers. You obviously have Brock Bowers. Michael Mayer, they don't want to move him. They've been pretty upfront about that. They've said he's not for sale. They've said that multiple times now this offseason. So they want to keep Mayer. They like the duo. Especially Mayer's such a great blocker, and as great as Bowers is, that's just not his game. So it makes sense. Ashton Genty as well. Having him in the backfield is going to – the play-action game is going to be insane in Vegas. And Jack Besh, one of my favorite receivers in the class. I do like him a lot as that wide receiver too. Especially he's so quarterback friendly. I think you have multiple security blankets now for Geno because Myers, Bowers, and Besh are all going to be able to find space. So I think we might see a lot less turnovers or turnover-worthy plays, whatever the case may be, from Geno this year because he's not going to have to force the ball as much. There's just going to be guys that know how to get open. I mean, not that his Seattle receivers didn't. Certainly, Lockett's always been very good at that. Jigba's obviously great at that, and Metcalf in his own right. But I think it'll work. I think he'll be awesome again this year. I think he was awesome 2 years ago. I think he was. God, especially having to play that Denver secondary twice a year is brutal. But it's fine because my actual number 10 choice is Cam Ward. Now we're all. No, it is Geno. But a friend of mine actually ranked his top 30 quarterbacks today. Funny enough, there's 21 good quarterbacks in the NFL, and that's not even counting guys like Drake May, Jaden Daniels, Drake May, Caleb Williams, Michael Penix, and JJ McCarthy, who all entering year 2 we could see take a leap, or for JJ just to play in general. Yeah. But also, we haven't seen Cam Ward take the field. We don't know how good Cam Ward is. But if you look at, don't give me that look. I'm gonna go over his list from 1 to number 21. Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, Joe Burrow, Justin Herbert, Matthew Stafford, Dak Prescott, Jaden Daniels, Geno Smith, C.J. Stroud, Jared Goff, Baker Mayfield, Brock Purdy, Jordan Love, Sam Darnold, Trevor Lawrence, Kyler Murray, Jalen Hurts, Bryce Young, Tua Tagovailoa, and Bo Nix. 21 proven, they can play. They can play. And
well, just as a bonus, I did list 3 more. I do have Baker at 11, Geno at 12, and I went Purdy at 13.
Yeah, that's fair. If I were to pick my next 3, let me see. If I were to pick my next 3, as much as I don't want to say it, probably Stroud, number 11.
You're right. You know what? I forgot about Stroud.
I probably would Goff, number 12.
I would put Stroud. Okay, I forgot about Stroud. I'll slide him in between. Man, it's just his first year versus second year. Let's go. I'll keep him out of
the second year was really his fault for the most
part. I'll slide him in between Goff and Baker. So I'll put him at 11.
I think I'll take Jalen Hurts at 13.
Damn.
With the slide stuff there.
Damn, dude, what does he got to do?
It's just not it's not the guys I have ahead of him aren't also in the same kind of. You could really argue my top 7 I think is pretty firm. You could really argue 8 to 15, 8 to 17. You can justify 10 guys in any order. I don't really care.
Fair.
So. Yeah, I think I'm fine with Jalen at 13. I think that's. I always ask the question: if I swapped Jalen, if these 2 teams swapped quarterbacks, would the team that isn't the Eagles be better off? And the answer is usually no. I don't think so. Or at least with all the other guys I have in that category, if the Eagles had Jared Goff, they'd probably be even a little better because he's just more on target than Jalen is.
Well, it's a little tough because
the offensive line is incredible, so he's never gonna never be pressured.
Well, it's a little tough because Hurts does add a sizable ass. He's very valuable in the run game as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it's a little hard because it's if I just look purely their passing game, then there's a lot of quarterbacks that the Eagles improve with over Jalen Hurts, but who's tush can be pushed like that?
Jalen doesn't do much on the he's in the air the whole time. That's not really a Jalen Hurts thing. The tush push can be done with virtually any well, probably a little lighter of a guy. You probably wouldn't want Josh Allen. You definitely wouldn't want Ben Roethlisberger.
So what they need to be doing is they needed to be doing the Kyler catapult.
Yes. In fact, I don't know why Jonathan Gannon didn't take the tush push with him to Arizona. Frankly, because Kyler.
Well, actually, I think the biggest thing is
5'2".
Actually, no. I think the biggest thing is that given the dog pile, they need a quarterback they feel comfortable can survive it.
Oh, definitely. But also, you're looking at Arizona's offensive line is not built for that either. Especially because the reason it's worked so well is because Jason Kelsey was, for one, a smaller center, but also one of the best centers ever. So leverage was always, he won the leverage game every single time. And that's why that play always worked. And it just so happened that they drafted a center like 2 years before Kelsey retired with near identical measurables. And what do you know? Cam Jurgens is also great at winning the leverage battle in the tush push. So yeah, it works. It works. But I don't like. People for a long time would point to like the video of Jalen Hurts squatting 600 pounds. It's like, well, the tush push would work for other teams if you're like, Jalen's in the air. The legs are not doing anything. He's swimming on top of Kelsey's back. Like, anywho, yeah, tush push aside, he adds a lot to the run game just by being mobile himself. But even then, there's a couple other like. Okay, no, I won't go that far. I don't know. But also like looking at like for people who want to throw Jalen Hurts as the fifth name after the obvious top four, the Chargers would not be better with Jalen Hurts. I don't think. I don't think the Rams would. The Rams would definitely not be better with Jalen Hurts. You know, there's. I don't think Washington would be better with Jalen Hurts. You know, you could go down the list for a while there, and I don't think the answer would be yes. And that's why for me he's a little lower.
But at some point, I just got to look like and be like, you know what? You stepped up in this previous playoff run. You played your best football. You won a Super Bowl. It's worth it for me. Fuck it. Like it's not just that he was on the team that won the Super Bowl as quarterback. Like he very much contributed. I'm gonna slap away in top 10.
Well, he played well in the game in the Super Bowl that they lost as well. He had a good game that game too. You know, like it's not a bad playoff performer by. So I don't have any quality. Like if somebody tells me Hurts is in the back of their top 10, like I'm not gonna argue with you.
What if they look you dead in the eyes and they say, I think Jalen Hurts is the second best quarterback in football.
I'm smacking the piss out of him. Like, but thankfully those aren't real people, so I've never met any of them.
I bet. Well, I know where they're real. I know where there's a cluster of them at.
Wait, I'm not going to Philly. I don't want to do that. So why would I want to do that to myself? You had a purpose for going there, and you still hated it.
Yeah, like the show was great, but everything around it was bad.
Everything else about Philly was terrible. Like I'm not going. I'm just not going to Philly. But fuck.
You want to do?
Sure, maybe at some point. You want to do? Let's cut deep. We'll cut deep.
Yeah, let me grab the cards.
We don't have to. If you don't.
Oh, they're right here.
Oh, okay. Never mind.
All right, let's see here. Icebreaker. What's your favorite movie, Brother Bear? I've been very loud about that.
I actually just updated my Letterboxd favorites last night, funny enough.
Wow.
I am going to... However, there is one film that stayed in the favorites, and that is The Empire Strikes Back. It's been my favorite movie since as long as I can remember. It's that good. So, no qualms about that. I haven't watched it. I need to watch the original trilogy again. It's been a little while.
Yeah, same. What's your creative outlet? This, YouTube. Easy for me.
I gotta get back into making music.
Making music?
Yes.
Start doing it, brother.
Yeah, I gotta get back into Prod by Jacob. So I gotta get back in. So, one of these days.
What 3 words would you use to describe yourself?
Big fat cock. Yeah.
Berry cream filled.
Yeah.
Are we gonna answer this one genuinely, or what are we?
I'm thinking. I don't know. It feels hard to do this without tooting your own horn. You know what I mean? Like,
hung,
humble. You know.
Hung, humble, and hungry, ready to do whatever you need.
Hung, humble, and horny. You know what I'm saying? Let me get in there.
Humble, and horny.
Yeah. hungry and ready to solve both of those problems at the same time.
Either way, I'm here to eat.
Yeah, yeah. I've been there. Been there a few times. Fuck. We don't have to do this one genuinely. I feel like we've talked about
Nah,
our
let's do it.
quality.
Let's do it. All right.
All right.
Because we've described each other. We haven't described ourselves.
Fair enough.
Okay. I'm going to go empathetic. I'm going to go anxious. They don't all have to be positive. I'm going to go empathetic, anxious, and... Damn, empathetic, anxious... sleepy. Empathetic, anxious, and sleepy. I'm always sleepy, so I'm gonna go empathetic, anxious, and sleepy.
I'm going to go with. I'll go with loving,
Mm-hmm.
uh, dysfunctional,
Okay.
and I'm also going to take sleepy because I'm right now.
Little eepy boy.
Boy. You see that bed right there? I got a date with it soon. Very excited.
So
I got a text message from my job saying that power at the plant is expected to be restored by about 10:40. But if it's not, they will send another update. I'm fingers crossed that they will not have power restored by then, and that I do not have to go to work tomorrow. But we'll see.
just like you hear later, you get a notification. A man in a Tennessee Titans hoodie was spotted at our electrical breakers pulling wires.
And then he was beating the fuck out of the transformer nearby. I mean, just beating the piss out of it. Yeah, it wasn't me, guys. It must have been the other one. Yeah.
I think it's time for. I think it's time.
I think it's time.
Top 3 of the week. First stage Pokemon, excluding
Yes,
single stage and starters.
Yes, and baby Pokemon, but
And
we
babies.
weren't really going to consider them anyways because none of them are good enough to be here.
The babies.
I actually came up with this idea while staring at my number one, like 30 minutes before we started the pod, and I'm like, yeah, that's I need that. I need to talk about this one
I need that.
because it's peak Pokemon. It's peak Pokemon design. But would you like to kick us off here? Or would you like me to kick us off here?
Sure, I'll kick us off because I got a pretty basic number 3 here. This was very much like off the top of my head. I'm probably forgetting a bunch that could go here. But I went with Eevee at number 3. Just very cutesy. You kind of see it everywhere. A lot of marketing for it, so it's just really fleshed out as a Pokemon in terms of seeing it act and how it carries themselves. But also just the Pokemon to what's the word I'm looking for? But just bring in the idea of split evolutions. Now I know that's not what it is; it's just what it can be. But representation of possibilities and going down different paths. Give me Eevee at number 3.
I didn't even think about Eevee here, but I'm gonna, at least personally for myself, count it as a starter, so I won't list it here anyway.
Right. I guess I forgot that it technically is a starter in a game.
It's semantics; it doesn't matter. Speaking of split evolutions, however, my number 3 is Avillion. This thing's adorable. I love it. It's got a cool typing because it's grass dragon every time it evolves, and they're all cool looking in their own way. I like all 3 of them, but yeah, adorable Pokemon. I like the idea of you got the possibilities. Um, you've got one that's a little more offense focused and one that's a little more defense focused, and then you get a whole new one in Gen 9. Um, it's pretty nifty. Or excuse me, in Gen Gen 9. I'm tripping. Um, cool Pokemon. I like Avillion. Cool design, cool concept. Fucks with it. Number two.
My number two, I went with Rockruff. I didn't realize I had a theme of split evolutions, but I guess I do for these for 3 and 2. Um, but yeah, just seeing it with little Professor Kukui.
Kukui.
Yeah, but just a cute little guy. I mean, you know me with dog Pokemon. If it's a dog Pokemon, I'm probably gonna fuck with it. And he's one of my favorite dog Pokemon. Top 2 dog Pokemon in my mind. Maybe I can't spoil what number 1 is. But yeah, Rockruff sitting here at number 2. Your number 2, sir.
Number 2. I went with Poipole. Technically, this is an Ultra Beast, not a Pokemon, but also go fuck yourself.
Maybe just like Pokemon of other worlds, like it counts.
Close enough. Poipole is awesome. I think this thing is adorable. I love Naganadel. It's probably one of my favorite Pokemon, just period. But Poipole on its own, beautiful Pokemon, adorable Pokemon. Poison Dragon's a cool type combo. We've only ever seen one other time, I think. That was Dragalge. I love the way Poipole looks. It's got something about it. Plus, you get it pretty early into your journey in Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon, so you get to grow with it. I like it. I like Poipole. Shout out Poipole. Number 2. Number 1. I think we all know what it is.
I'll just come out and say it's Houndour. Just perfect little dog. I mean, there's not a cuter, but also cooler first stage dog Pokemon in all of Pokemon. It is the pre-evolution of a Pokemon that my dog dressed up as for Halloween. And I've just, I've said pretty much always that in my top 3, Houndoom is. So obviously, when we're talking about single stages, I'm gonna love Houndour. Gonna slap that baby at number 1. You're number 1.
Deserved.
The one that inspired this whole topic.
I took one look at this thing and I'm like, yeah, we gotta talk about this. I gotta find a way to talk about this Pokemon. I went with Drillbur.
Oh, that's a great one.
That is peak Pokemon design.
That's a great one.
That is incredible. That is incredible. And his little 3D sprite, he kind of looks like Excalibur, at least in his face, from Soul Eater. Just cool. I fucking love Drillbur, man. Great. I mean, you know me. Love me some Gen 5. I do. It's a tough. I may have mentioned it once or twice. It's a tough battle for me, interior, to have to ask myself, do I want an Excadrill or a Crocodile on this playthrough? Or a Seismitoad, for that matter. My ground type. Always so many good ground types in this game. Drillbur is such an adorable, just cute little guy. Yeah, peak Pokemon design. Shout out Drillbur. He's up there. Number 1. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Then, now I think it's time for what we've been on.
Time for what we've been on.
You kick us off.
Okay, I don't think I listened to any music that came out this past weekend because I don't think anything came out that really was of interest to me. I watched Ironheart.
Mm-hmm. Don't spoil it because I want to check it out.
I'm not going to spoil it, but it was pretty solid. I thought so. I thought it was pretty good. Like I'd seen a lot of vitriol towards it, but also all of that vitriol came from the usual suspects. The critical drinkers of the world, the nerdotics, whoever. The people who decide before these shows even come out that they're going to hate them so that they can make the quickest, biggest buck off of it possible. And hey, those videos all get over 1 million views. I don't not understand the hustle, But I don't, people are gonna click on the video anyways. You don't have to blatantly lie in them about what's happening in the show,
Your
which they so often.
integrity. I mean, just like you. How much does that cost?
Yeah. How much a dollar cost? Okay, there's a Kendrick Lamar song about that. As there is for a lot of things, but yeah, yeah, like just like at some point he just straight up lies about like there's a YouTuber I watch who does a series called Exposing the Grift, where when a new show comes out and one of these losers, does what they do, he will dissect everything they say that is either blatantly incorrect or just not at all relevant. Like he'll go through whatever the criticism video is and pointed out multiple just bold-faced lies earlier. But anyway, let's talk about the actual show itself. It's good. Um, I think there's something in the show that I thought was not going to be handled well initially. It seemed like it was steering towards the direction of somewhere I didn't really think it should go. And then they actually did not drop the ball on that. They handled it the way I thought it should be. And then it made for a more interesting ending to the show. I'm not sure. Like, I go back and forth on whether or not I like the ending necessarily. I definitely see where it's coming from. I probably would have had my own preference for it, but I think the ending makes sense when I think about it. I was talking with somebody else about the show, and he was like, I was thinking about it from one direction. He was like, "Well, that's not what they said in the interview." So I'm like, "Well, maybe this wasn't intentional. They just accidentally did something kind of cool here." Um, like with how the show ended, and like what my takeaway was from how the show ended. Uh, because I'm thinking one thing, and I guess it's not maybe supposed to be that way, but I don't know. Maybe they accidentally did something kind of genius. I'm not sure. I can't say too much, obviously, without just revealing what happened. But I think there's a lot of there's definitely some moments I don't love, but in general, I like a lot about this show. I like most of the show. I had a good time watching it. I think it's pretty good.
Pretty good.
I think it's pretty good.
Hey,
I watched Porco Rosso for the first time last night as well. I'd never seen Porco Rosso. Another great movie. This time for sure, I know I do like the ending. I like the ending a lot. It's intentionally ambiguous, but also kind of like you kind of know. They don't outright tell you, but you kind of know. Have you ever seen Porco Rosso?
no idea what you're talking about.
Okay, it's a Ghibli film. It's a Ghibli
Okay.
film. It's the one with the pig.
I haven't even heard of that one.
Okay, it's not like a. I guess probably more of a cult classic among Ghibli films than it's not like in your house, Moving Castle, Princess Mononoke,
That's the one I want
Spirited
to watch the
Away.
most right now.
Which one?
Princess Mononoke. I haven't seen that one. I've seen House
Okay.
Moving Castle, but I haven't seen that Shmononoke.
I wonder if Mononoke is coming back to theaters this year. I know it was last year. My friend and I went to go see it. Uh, I know that because they do it like every summer. They do like a Studio Ghibli thing in the summer. Uh,
Yeah, the well, there was a month of it of it at
yeah.
movie theater near me. Whenever I
Oh,
saw House
nice.
Moving Castle, so a couple months ago.
Whenever you get the chance, watch Spirited Away. It's awesome.
I've seen that one. That was the first one I've seen.
Oh, I'm sorry. Mononoke. Mononoke. I'm
Okay.
sorry.
Yes, then I
Yeah.
will.
Yeah. Oh,
Funnily enough, Spirited Away is I've seen more than once.
It's a movie worthy of seeing much more than
It was the first anime
So-
anything I'd ever seen, and I was like, "Yo, what the fuck is
Interesting.
this?" Because it was at a Boy Scout camp, and they had a little projector, and the one of the adults put it on, and we were like, "Hey, yo, what the fuck is this?"
Spirited Away is probably the Ghibli film that's like most well known, even outside of like people that just like regular audiences. I think Spirited Away is the more like, yeah, I don't know. It's
Yeah.
fairly entrenched in the cultural zeitgeist. I think it's there, but it deserves to be, frankly, phenomenal movie. Um, I don't know if I have anything else. It might just I've been watching baseball. Mets won a few games.
Alright,
Finally.
boo this man.
Um, But that's about it. I haven't really got nothing. Oh, and I've been playing Pokemon Sword again. I'm kind of. This might be insane. I'm kind of liking it this time around. Like I'm kind of getting there.
I definitely didn't hate it. From what I remember. So
A very underrated feature that this game adds and every other game expands upon after it. Well, it's only one more
I was
game.
about to say so one game, maybe
That
Arceus.
Sky might expand upon after it. And it's one that I have never really taken advantage of. It's one that I should because it's honestly kind of nice. The camping feature is awesome.
Hmm.
Like the idea you can just stop in the middle of the journey and just cook some food with your Pokemon. That shit's awesome. That's like another one of those things that like you see in the anime, right? Because you'll see him set up camp, just hang out with the dudes. You've never gotten to actually do that yourself.
Right.
And it's like one of those things that make your Pokemon feel a little more real, makes your journey feel a little more real by stopping and having those moments.
Your journey.
I gotta do that more often. Like I gotta engage with that because
Well,
that's
I'm glad they don't have that feature in Gen 3, because if we set up camp, I would have cooked Torchic.
a fine meal.
I would have fed him to my Zigzagoon, dude.
Zigzagoon don't eat all that. You don't need all that.
It's tiny. Zigzagoon can definitely just have all that.
Speaking of Zigzagoon, I do like. I think Galarian Zigzagoon's cool. Like I like Obstagoon. I think it's nice. I used the one in my first playthrough of Sword. My team this time around, I'm gonna have a Rillaboom. I'm gonna have a Frostlass. So why the fuck now? How often do you use a Frostlass in a playthrough? So I'm gonna have a Frostlass. I am going to have. I have a Cubfu, so I'm gonna have an Urshifu. Water Urshifu or Swift Strike or Rapid Strike. Excuse me, it's Rapid Strike Urshifu. Because Fighting Dark is a terrible type combination. A Fairy type will end your career. Not to mention having a non-dark on my Urshifu gives me room to have a dark type in the Grimmsnarl I'm going to have on the team.
Yeah. I thought Surging Strike. I thought that was the water type one.
That might be the name of the move. I think the Urshifu form is Swift Strike Urshifu. Or Rapid Strike Urshifu. I mean,
I thought it was Rapid Strike and Surging. I guess not. I don't know. I've never played the DLC. Like I'm just.
I've never used the Urshifu. I've never used an Urshifu before. This is my first time, so it's like I don't know. We'll see. But I'm very excited. Very excited. Even the Cubfu's putting in work already, as is, so that's totally fine on its own. But yeah, I'm just I'm looking.
Okay, it's Single Strike.
Single Strike and Rapid Strike. And is Rapid Strike the water type?
Yes, Rapid Strike is the water type.
Because that's one that hits 3 times, and it's a crit every time, which is awesome.
Yeah, through Protect.
Yeah. Ridiculous Pokemon. A stupidly broken Pokemon.
Yeah, so Surging Strike is the move.
Yeah, 2 gens in a row they introduced a Pokemon that just completely breaks the meta. Like, here's Incineroar, and then the next channel, here's Urshifu. Ridiculous. I can't
and
believe
then Gen 9, here's Fuecoco. Just decimating the field, man.
Oh. Well, fuck, what's this name? Fluttermane. Fluttermane, legitimately, you see it on everything. Another one. There's a few of those that you just see everywhere.
Sneasler at one point was like on
Sneasler, definitely.
Third teams or whatever.
You see a lot of Chin Pao on a lot of teams. It has a quad weakness.
Calyrex Rider.
Yeah, I think Shadow Rider was the more common of the two, but you definitely saw both. Yeah, just multiple game breaking. Oh shit! I just realized I gotta have a Calyrex on my team too.
I'm going to Worlds next month.
Yeah, got signed in Incineroar amiibo.
Very excited.
I might be going to my first baseball game soon. I might. Well, my first Major League game. I've been to a Nashville Sounds game. I might be going to When the Orioles come to play the Rays, I think I'll be watching. Man, fuck you. When the Orioles play the Rays, I think I'll be watching that one. But you know what sucks? Because I love the Orioles. They're probably my main side hoe in baseball. The Mets are playing the Orioles in this next series, so I have to, I have to pick a favorite child, which is the Mets. The Mets are my favorite child.
The
I
Mets,
do I
baby,
do
the
love the
Mets.
Orioles, and I'm getting more. It's about the Mets, baby. Oh my god, my stupid fucking Chinese Brett Beatty jersey came in. Dude, the name on the back is Brett Beatty. It's not just Beatty. The name is Brett Beatty on the back of the jersey.
I gotta start looking for my fucking knockoff Cooper Flag jersey.
I think. Well, don't buy the one I bought, but I think DHgate does have like genuinely great knockoff jerseys. Uh, Definitely better quality than Fanatics. There was a Pirates fan who bought a Paul Skeens jersey, and like on the first wash, following all of the instructions, the lettering still came off the fucking.
Oh my god, I'm finally back into my main Instagram. I just randomly opened it. Don't know what happened. Daddy's back.
Daddy's home. But
That's
I think
insane.
that's it. That's it for me, though. If you want to talk about what you've been on.
Let's see. So I've been watching Power Rangers Ninja Storm for a video. I've gotten 2 cameos from the same actor because I just had so many fucking questions for the show, and he was the only Power Ranger that was on cameo from that season. Cool dude over in Australia.
Nice.
Because this era of Power Rangers that I'm talking about, it's when they recorded in New Zealand. So there's several Australian and New Zealand actors in the show.
Okay.
And then I've been watching the Super Sentai counterpart. I think I talked about this before, but the Japanese show that it's based on. I've watched more of that. Both are about the same quality. I think I just lean the Ninja Storm, the American one more, but both are really good. I've watched a couple more episodes of Vinland Saga. Good, really good, really really good. Highly recommend. I'm trying to think of anything else. Trying to think. I can't wait to talk about Superman next week. I can't wait to play more Pokemon Ruby Nuzlocke.
I don't think I'm watching Superman until that Tuesday, so I don't know.
What time?
I don't. It'll be in the afternoon, so like I don't know. What if we record? Are you still working the second shift next week?
Yeah, next week's the last week.
Shit.
So we might have to do Sunday, record pod Monday. Pokemon?
Yeah, we might because Tuesday will be indisposed.
Yeah.
Watching Superman. I don't remember which publication it was, but they were like the first one to like review it officially, and they said it wasn't very good. But this is also the same publication also said Sinners wasn't good.
Oh.
So like,
dude,
if that's any metric, this is gonna be awesome.
You saw Sinners, right?
No, I have not.
Oh,
I have not.
okay.
I might make.
I saw
I'll
it.
make it a point to do it.
Really fucking good. So I really don't give a fuck what that publication says. Sinners was amazing.
Yeah. Well, I've heard a lot of like it basically feels like an extended episode of a Saturday morning cartoon. Which if we're talking about fucking Superman,
yeah, that sounds great.
give me 3 of those.
Yeah, I heard them say it sounds like a longer episode of Superman the Animated Series.
Yeah.
Which is like, okay, sick.
I love Superman. Yeah.
I love the whole dude. Oh my god, I can't wait for Thursday. Watch some motherfucking Superman. Eat some food. Anyways, what else have I been on? Shit, that's been it.
Word.
Yeah, that's been it. So yeah, I think we're gonna do it here unless you have anything else to add.
Nope.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, let me know what you think of the haircut. Let me know what you think of the hair in the comments below. But other than that, thank you guys so much for watching. Like the video, subscribe for more, comment anything you want down below. Next week, gonna be here, same channel, and as always, keep gaming. and fuck Nico Harrison.